Look at this perfectly round blue ball. If you were floating in space, looking down at our Earth, this is exactly what you would see. Vast oceans and endless land stretching out in every direction. But think about it. If Earth is this massive sphere, how do you find one specific country? There are no giant street signs or road maps floating in the ocean to tell us exactly where we are. To solve this, geographers came up with a clever idea. They imagined an invisible grid of lines wrapping around the whole planet, working exactly like the numbered streets and avenues in a big city. Before we can begin drawing these imaginary streets, we cannot exactly practice on the real planet. We first need to shrink the Earth down to a size that we can actually hold and study. This is a globe. It is a small-scale, perfectly spherical model of our Earth. When you spin a globe, you can clearly see the true shape of all the continents, the wide oceans, and exactly where different countries sit next to each other. However, simply looking at the land masses does not give us a way to share a specific address. To find exact spots easily, we still need to draw out our imaginary streets. So, while the globe gives us the correct physical shape of the world, these imaginary lines give us a way to label and find any spot on it. Let's start drawing. Watch this globe as glowing horizontal lines appear, running straight across from east to west. We call these horizontal streets latitudes, or akshansh rekhai. Right in the middle, you can see one line glowing much brighter than the rest. This is the equator. It sits exactly at 0 degrees and is the most important latitude of all. Think of the equator as the main street of our planet. As you can see here, it divides the Earth neatly into two equal halves, the northern hemisphere on top and the southern hemisphere on the bottom. Moving away from that main street, we have two other vital horizontal markers. In the north, at 23.5 degrees, we have the Tropic of Cancer. Down in the south, we find the Tropic of Capricorn. Finally, near the very icy top and bottom poles, we draw the Arctic Circle in the north and the Antarctic Circle in the south. All these horizontal lines give us a clear way to measure exactly how far north or south a place is from the equator. Now, look at this diagram as we add vertical lines to complete our grid. These lines run straight down from the North Pole to the South Pole. We call these vertical avenues longitudes, or deshanta rekhai. Just like the equator, there is one main vertical line anchoring the system. It is called the prime meridian, sitting at 0 degrees. It splits the globe vertically into the western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. Watch what happens when we bring the horizontal lines back. The streets and avenues cross each other, creating a full grid. Where a single latitude and longitude cross paths, that intersection gives a precise global address. These vertical longitudes have a very useful secondary purpose. They help us calculate time. As Earth rotates through these lines, they help us understand why it might be morning in one country while it is still night in another. Latitudes tell us how high or low we are on the map, while longitudes complete the address and keep the world's clock set to the right time. Our horizontal grid does one more highly useful thing. It predicts the climate based on how much direct sunlight hits different parts of the planet. Look closely at this diagram showing sunlight hitting the Earth. Notice how the sun's rays hit the center directly. This thick band around the equator is called the torrid zone, the hottest area on our planet. Moving just above and below that hot red center, the sunlight begins to hit at a slight angle.
These green bands are the temperate zones. The weather here is moderate and comfortable. Finally, look at the very top and bottom caps of the globe. The sunlight barely reaches these angles. These blue zones are the frigid zones, full of ice and freezing temperatures. By simply knowing the latitude address of a place, you instantly know what kind of weather to expect and exactly what clothes to pack. Watch this globe as glowing horizontal lines appear, running straight from east to west. We call these latitudes, or akshansh rekhai. Right in the middle, one line glows brighter. This is the equator, sitting at exactly 0 degrees. The equator divides Earth neatly into the northern hemisphere on top and southern hemisphere on the bottom. Moving away, two other vital markers appear. the Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees north, and Tropic of Capricorn south.
Finally, near the very icy top and bottom poles, we draw the Arctic Circle in the north and the Antarctic Circle in the south. These horizontal lines give us a clear way to measure exactly how far north or south any place is from the equator. Now watch vertical lines complete our grid, running straight from north to south pole. We call these longitudes. Like the equator, the prime meridian anchors the system at 0 degrees, splitting the globe into western and eastern hemispheres. Bring the horizontal lines back, and our streets and avenues cross over, creating a full grid. Where a single latitude and longitude cross paths, that intersection gives us a precise global address. These vertical longitudes also help us calculate time. As the Earth rotates, they explain why it might be morning here while it's night elsewhere. Latitudes tell us how high or low we are, while longitudes complete the address and keep our clock set. Our grid does one more highly useful thing. It predicts the climate based on direct sunlight. Look closely at this diagram. The sun's rays hit the center of the globe directly. This thick band around the equator is the torrid zone, the hottest area. Just above and below, sunlight hits at a slight angle, creating the moderate temperate zones. Finally, at the very top and bottom caps of the globe, sunlight barely reaches. These blue zones are the frigid zones, full of ice and freezing temperatures. By simply knowing the latitude address of a place, you instantly know what kind of weather to expect and exactly what clothes to pack. Think back to that blank blue sphere we saw floating in space at the very beginning. It doesn't look quite so confusing anymore. Those invisible lines have turned that featureless ball into an organized, easy-to-read master grid. With just 2 crossing lines, we see a location's exact position, its time zone, and its climate. This imaginary grid is a simple system. It is the instruction manual we use to understand and travel across our vast planet. Let's quickly remember what we've learned today. The globe is our accurate physical model of the Earth, and the imaginary lines form our location grid. Latitudes are the horizontal streets running east to west, with the equator at the center. Longitudes are the vertical avenues running north to south, starting with the prime meridian. Now here is a quick challenge for you. Question 1. Globe kya hota hai? Question 2. Equator kise kehte hain? And question 3. Longitudes kis disha mein jati hain? You can pause the video here and try to answer. If you can answer those 3 questions, congratulate yourself. You now know how to read the Earth like a map. Fantastic job! If you enjoyed exploring the Earth with us today, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for our next adventure.